Hi everyone, I am Nuran from Geeks Vision team. And before jumping into our project, let me ask you a couple of questions, and please feel free to answer in the chat box. First question is, has anyone ever driven over the speed limit or tried to beat the red lights because they were late to work? Yeah. And the second question is, do you ever get angry when you're stuck in a traffic jam? Yeah, I can see a lot of people here experience the road rage. Yeah. So now let me share my story. Last year on July 17th, I was sitting next to my uncle. He was driving a car and he was getting more aggressive because of the traffic jam. So once the road was empty, my uncle drove too fast, exceeding the speed limit. And suddenly we saw a boy crossing the street, but unfortunately it was too late to stop. So we hit the boy and he was badly injured. Me and my uncle were paralyzed and shocked in the car for a few seconds. Then we went to see the boy and I realized he was one of my school friends. I was shocked. Then at this moment, the emergency came and took him directly to the intensive care, and the police too was doing his job with my uncle. And luckily, after a week, my friend got well and everything went smooth. But imagine with me that this scenario didn't go that well, and I could have lost 2 people in my life because of aggressive driving. So that's why I believe this topic is very important to me, and not only to me, to the majority of people, as the statistics prove that aggressive drivers kill 2 to 4 times more people than drunk drivers. And this is the percentages of the aggression in car for 2020. Also, my team, we made a survey to check how many of us experienced the road rage, and 86% experienced the road rage, and this is very large percentages. So our goal is to reduce the amount of traffic fatalities caused by aggressive driving by 60%. So now let's introduce my awesome team that I'm very lucky to work with for the past 2.5 weeks. I am Nuran Youssef. I am a computer engineering student, and I'm very interested in robotics and computer science.
Hi there, my name is Sharif Ahmed. I'm an electronics and communications engineering student. I'm really interested in embedded systems and machine learning and how to mix between both those things to create wonderful things.
Right, good morning, everybody. I'm Lorenz Lim, and I'm an economics major, and I really have an interest in computer hardware and data analytics.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ashna Kithan, and I'm a rising senior at Northville High School in Michigan. I'm really interested in computer science, especially machine learning. And as someone who has only been on the roads for about a year, I can tell you I know aggression detection is going to be something that will truly change our roads for the better. Our mentor is Mohammed, and he is an amazing machine learning scientist who has helped us immensely with our machine learning model throughout this project. So I'd just like to thank him right now. All right, so now our solution. Our solution is a computer model that detects the driver's facial expression, thus deciding whether he or she is exhibiting aggression or not. Through our surveys, we have found that aggression comes in 3 forms. The most commonly known form is anger. If someone is angry that a car just cut them off or that someone is driving way too slow in front of them, they may act out in a hostile manner. The second is fear. Fear of collision with another vehicle may induce a driver to act out spontaneously. And the final emotion is surprise. When we drivers see a car that's fast approaching us in our rearview mirror, our first reaction is that of surprise, which we may act on by flooring our gas pedal. All 3 of these are examples of aggressive driving, and our product recognizes those expressions and immediately stops the driver from acting on their destructive emotion. Now let's take a closer look at the series of steps that leads to aggressive driving. First, we have our trigger, something that upsets the driver, such as excessive tailgating from the car behind him, or maybe an angry phone call from a boss who's impatiently waiting for him to get to work. Next, our driver makes an aggressive face. It might not be as extreme as this one, but you get the idea. Simultaneously, his heart rate begins to go up, and the next thing you know, he has stepped on the gas pedal. The final step is, of course, how the car reacts to all of this. The car will speed up, and the rest is history. Now, we've seen aggression detection products that analyze all of these latter aspects, like the speed of the car, the pressure put on the gas pedal, and even the driver's heart rate. But our model will detect the driver's aggression at the very first step, his facial expression. If we can detect the aggression earlier, we can also step in to prevent aggressive behavior much, much earlier. Now, this process with our product, AgriVision, is a little different. The driver is triggered, and he even makes an aggressive face. Maybe his heart rate even goes up, and maybe he even tries to step on the gas. But the car's system will prevent his car from speeding up and will thus prevent an accident. So to go over the steps again, our product detects the driver's facial expression, decides whether it is aggressive or not, and then implements an appropriate intervention based on whether the driver is angry, fearful, or surprised. For example, if the driver is angry, the car may simply want to place restrictions to ensure that he cannot go over the speed limit. But if the driver is only fearful, perhaps some calming music would help. In our previously mentioned survey, we found that 76% of users would calm down if their favorite music was playing. AgriVision's camera will be located on the front dashboard with an angle that captures the driver's full face. When the car detects aggression and is about to intervene, a message will pop up on the dashboard warning the driver of the system's takeover. Now, let's look at a demo of how this works.
So I'll be talking about very briefly about how this project works, how AgriVision works. This is basically a demo of Ashna using a video stream of our model to detect whether she's having a neutral face or an aggressive face. This model was based on neural networks and using a very specific neural network model called ResNet, since this model is really good at detecting images and video streams and can work with them very fast and efficiently. We had a large large data set and worked with it and made the model train with it. And then we had this result at the end. This result makes it available, and we can see that we can view that we are having an aggressive face using some label on the screen, or we're having some neutral face, and we can use that label for later and have an action that would make us calm down or make us avoid having a road accident later. Like Ashna said, we might make just the car doesn't speed up while we press the pedal. Now, Lawrence will talk about the competitive landscape.
All right, good morning, everybody. So emotion detection is a quickly growing market that's actually expected to hit 56 billion by 2024, and there's a rising need for socially intelligent artificial agents. So right now, there are several notable competitors who are also taking steps towards creating aggression detection modules. First off is the French automaker Peugeot Citroën, who has teamed up with the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology to develop an onboard emotion detection system. Currently, the system is able to identify a couple of emotions, most notably fear, anger, joy, and sadness. However, researchers state that they're unsure about the universal emotions of anger. Second is the Chinese technology firm Huawei, who has also patented a system that utilizes cameras to analyze driver stress levels and slow or stop their car accordingly. It makes use of thermal cameras to detect blood pressure, an additional camera inside the vehicle to track drivers' hands and search for gestures. In response to a rude gesture, the car could be slowed or brought to a stop. The patent also describes the use of an in-car microphone to monitor speech for shouting and swearing. However, there's a lot of controversy surrounding the company regarding its data privacy use, and the company has even been labeled as a security threat by networks such as Verizon and AT&T. On our end, AgriVision and our team aims to offer a complete package of detection and proactive safety measures. We want to be able to use a near-infrared camera to provide the most accurate detection. Secondly, we want to be very transparent with our user privacy. The data that's collected in your car is used solely for your safety. We want to be able to respect your privacy and keep all of your potential information protected and secure. Additionally, we would like users to be able to opt out of this experience. While our technology may be implemented by manufacturers as a default, our users should be granted the right to turn this feature off. Lastly, we take from a diverse set of images. With how complex emotion and facial expressions are, we aim to evaluate as much information that is available to us in order to provide a more accurate and richer experience. Moving forward with this project, our next step is as follows. Our priority is to develop a more refined model by building on the current code that we have. We also want to be able to discuss the future implementation of this project in the vehicle and evaluate its technology. A lot of discussion might revolve around what type of camera and sensors we'd use, but our team is leaning towards using near-infrared cameras for an accurate capture. There's also a large correlation between oxygen and changing facial expressions. One concept our team developed was implementing a pulse oximeter in the steering wheel. So holding the wheel would measure oxygen saturation levels. This is a concept we'd love to explore further on. Second would be integrating and discovering additional resources. Affectiva already has numerous software development kits already with facial detection, as seen in their drowsiness and yawn detection architecture, which we got a presentation of a couple weeks ago. Because anger and frustration is still such a complex phenomenon due to signs of these emotions manifesting differently, collecting data sets revolving around aggression is imperative. We really believe Affectiva is a great partner for us because of the advances they've already made regarding human emotion. Next, we would have to determine which manufacturers and tier 1 suppliers we would market to. Some of the partners we looked into include Acura and Tesla for manufacturers because of how much their safety modules and technology has been growing in the recent years. Let's see, Eisen, Seiki Group, Robert Bosch, and Continental for Tier 1 suppliers. Bosch specializes in numerous areas, including car multimedias and electronics, while Continental and Eisen Seiki specialize in safety system electronics. So creating a safer environment and reducing accidents is our topmost priority, and we'd like to be able to move forward in doing so. Our vision, or our Geeks vision, if you will, is to create safer roads where car-to-car interactions can go from this to this. Okay, and we'd like to thank Mohammed and the rest of our floating mentors like Tanya, Chris, and Abdo for your help, and to you for listening to our presentation. Now we'd like to open this time up for any questions, comments, and concerns.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Great presentation. I have two questions before I hand it off to those guys. My first was, so in the intro, you had a bunch of stats on, you know, the aggression is more of a leading cause of accidents than drunk driving, I think. I was just curious the source of those stats. Is that globally or is that within the US, or do you know, maybe you did reference it and I missed it.
It's a global thing. Yeah, I'm the one who mentioned this. Yeah, it's the percentage is 2 to 4 times more than drunk driving for global, not in the US. It's worldwide for 2019 to be specific.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just wondering if that would, like, if it was in one part of the world versus another, would that affect where you would want to focus the rollout? But yeah, it sounds like it's global, so it's a problem everywhere.
Yeah.
And then my next question was, you know, based on how I think I understand your project would work, would you detect levels of aggression, or does it just go aggression detected, you know, have the recommendation pop up, or is there a like slight aggression, moderate aggression, extreme aggression?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Answer Tesla. No, okay.
Okay, yeah. So originally we planned to have it detect aggression on a level from 0 to 100. So yes, it would have different suggestions based off of the level. But eventually we decided that that might be a little bit trickier than we want it to be, because instead it can just detect aggression or non-aggression, and then within that aggression category it can detect whether it is anger, fear, or surprise, and that's kind of a better classification than having a linear classification from 0 to 100. And so based on like which category of aggression it is, anger, surprise, or fear, it can make more personalized suggestions to that.
Got it. Great. All right, I'll hand it off. Micah or AJ, do you have any questions?
Yeah, so another great presentation here. It's certainly a product that needs needs to be more out in the market with a lot of aggressive people, especially in the U.S. and Boston in particular. So, can you talk a little bit more about the product? How would it be on a phone or just incorporated in the car, or how would that work?
Yeah, so it would be on the car only. So the camera will be on the dashboard, and then the only other part that the user will actually see is the message on the dashboard. So if the car is about to set a speed limit on the car, the dashboard message will say something in a kind manner. It would say, slowing down your car now, or setting speed limit to the highway speed limit. And so those are the two components that the user will actually see. The rest of it is all implemented within the car as a package. And yeah, the user will be unable to see like the rest of it.
Okay, thank you. Mike? You on mute, Mike?
Yeah, there you go. So a couple questions. I guess the first one being, kind of the driver, where the driver might speed, and then the vehicle detects kind of they're angry or frustrated and maybe shuts down speed. Wouldn't that make them more angry and frustrated? And if they could turn it off, wouldn't they just turn it off and then continue to drive frustrated? Or how would you manage that person's state?
I can answer that. Yeah, so we actually did consider that because that's a very real possibility. Most people don't like being told that they're being aggressive or being angry. And so we researched actually ways that we can tell a human that that we're going to be modifying the car's behavior without actually being rude towards the human. And the best way that we could tell was just to have the message be kinder. For example, in our dashboard over there, it was kind of a kind message. It was like, cueing your favorite music now, drive safely. Or if it were, or posing it as a question instead, like saying, are you okay? Is there anything the car can do for you right now? But yeah, that's actually a very real question because people really don't like being told that they're being angry. So that's our solution as of now. And if any of you guys want to add to that, feel free.
And then my follow-up question is, how do you plan to monetize this?
I can answer that question. Our main revenue would come from partnering with tier 1 suppliers and our OEM partners, like our car manufacturers. We want to be able to implement this as like selling our product as a safety feature that's going to be implemented in these newer vehicles.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Okay, so Mike, AJ, and I are gonna submit the forms, so we'll give them a minute or two to do that. But next up, we have Labyrinth. So if you guys want to get ready, share your screen, and I'll hand it over to you in a minute.